Scam. Teddy scam. Good morning, everybody. I'm in the 80s this morning. Remember the song Guy? Teddy Jam? I'm doing scam today. Yeah, I start. Hang on, like I changed the words. Scam. Oh, scam. Scam. Teddy Tony is scam for me now. Or should I say Billy scam for me now? Tony is scam for me now. I thought we were in trouble this morning. I didn't think I could come on. I thought I was in jail for Scooby Post. Y'all see the Scooby Post? Scam. Tony scam for me, man. Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning. Tony scam for me now. Yeah, I gotta make my own music because copyright. Whoa, Tony scam for me now. Who scam for me now? Good morning, everybody. Scam. Whoa, scam. Every day the scam is more obvious. Did y'all know that while y'all were busy hiding, scared in the house and stuff, they were planning, what were they planning? To invade Venezuela. You can't make this stuff up while people hide the whole something coming to kill everybody. Take out the whole human race. They were planning to invade Venezuela. So apparently the U.S. Navy is down there all outside, scared the U.S. Outside of Venezuela. Apparently it's more important to go down there and steal that oil for the Koch brothers. Something weird is going on today. Good morning. I'm like half live. I'm not really live, I'm like half live. Something's weird about this. So I thought that I got banned this morning. It's okay, it's important. You're supposed to get banned. You're supposed to get banned. It's probably the Scooby Post, Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo didn't realize where the scam came from. All right, here we go. Good morning, everybody. Scam. Now, looks like, yeah, things are coming back on slowly. There we go. Good morning, Trish. Good morning, Riley. Good morning, Bonkers. What's that, Riley? I'm in the country. Country roads. Say, country roads. Take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain my. Take me home, country road. You think I didn't know that song? I know that song. I listen to all kind of music. Good morning, everybody. Brother Waters in the house. It's gonna take a while, I think, for all of this to work out. Something weird is going on this morning. They're probably trying out new software. It's Friday. You know, I think, therefore, I'm shadow banned. Let me bring YouTube in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. New software. Our concedes nothing without what? Without what? Power concedes nothing without voting. Power concedes nothing without discussion. Power concedes nothing without campaign contributions. Power concedes nothing without, what else are we doing? Protesting? We're just begging. Power concedes nothing without what? Without what? Good morning. I see y'all coming in. It's going to take a while, I think, for all of this to catch up. YouTube while we're working on that. Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I tell you what I was doing. Outside, I guess what's in the news now? What's in the important news anyway? Or I don't call it important news. The news that my friends find interesting. They're posting about the SB 145. They call it, I guess y'all call it the pedophilia law. California. I guess it has something to do with sex offenders and whether or not it gives the judge leeway to do whatever. And I kind of saw a little piece of it this morning. I saw y'all posting on it. I have not read the law yet. I usually don't like to comment on things till I read them. But initially, I just like to ask the question in general. When has child abuse, because all pedophilia is, right? It's the right to abuse children. When has that never been the right of the powerful? When have they not ever abused the weak? When has that ever happened? When is that? When in history? I'm sure it was a time in history. It was probably back before this was Africa. Did y'all? This is what I was looking at this morning. Back when the Sahara Desert was a tropical jungle, structures, and civilizations all over it, probably just like in the Congo. People, you couldn't even throw a rock without hitting somebody. People everywhere, structures, technology, and then the pole ships wipes everything out. And we don't demand to know history, so you get something called Egyptologists, which are not any form of science known to humankind, nor are they even honest. It's like a cult. It's a cult in Egypt that hides information from people. And that's another one. Power concedes nothing without demand. So the CIA has a facility over there, and I'm sure the Spence Knots and MI6, they're all digging under the pyramid, finding everything that they can under the Sphinx, bringing it back to America, taking it back to Russia, reverse engineering it. Bob Lazar tells us they've been lying to us since the beginning of time. You know, we're like, Bob Lazar's a lie. That's a lie. That's not even true. These people rape children as an industry. They steal children from their parents as a business. Of course they were. Yeah, that's who it is. Ivana Zahi Hawass, the head of the cult. Leader of the cult, the cult of personality and hiding everything from humanity. Good morning, everybody. The comments still aren't coming in. It's going to take a minute. I do not know what's going on this morning, but I can see the comments over here. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, so we can talk about anything y'all want to talk about. But the SB 145, California been going that way for a long time. And to me, all I see is they're outlawing, well, not outlawing, that's the wrong word. They're shifting laws for the poor. The elite have never followed these laws. The elite don't even know what the laws are. And I'm sure most of them are private citizens, so they're not even subject to our laws. That's another whole thing. All right, so I might have to do comments the backup way, because it's still not trying to work this morning. Something freaky is going on Facebook. Is it just me? All right, let me turn this off. Change the music. I can see comments over here anyway. Who put all the lakes in Africa? Rain. Rain put, so that's a map. Hang on, let me change the music. That's a map before modern times, right? So every 6,000 years or so, the planet goes through a pole shift. And when the planet goes through a pole shift, it wipes everything out. When it wipes everything out, it destroys a lot of things, right? And so in Northern Africa, it wasn't a desert before, that was a tropical jungle, right? So something along the lines of Latin America, something along the lines of South America. So there were civilizations all over. There's structures all over the Sahara. They were using, well, they use LiDAR over there. They use LiDAR in Guatemala to find the structures underneath the canopy of the trees, but they're using some sort of a sensing technology. And NASA did it as well. NASA, you know what? I even have NASA pictures somewhere. The largest freshwater lake in the world was in Northern Africa, right? But then the pole shifts, it destroys everything, sinks Atlantis, we lose all the technology or whatever we're using melts and leaves a puddle of mercury under certain structures. But the only thing that gets left is a few stone structures, and I'm convinced there's civilizations all over the Sahara, all over. There was a lady who did that moisture scan. I think she found another, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 10,000 pyramids or something crazy, like 10,000 structures. But that's always hidden from us. You know, what I do, maybe you missed one. We did a video, we're looking at the declassified Adam and Eve story. I think that told us what we needed to know about this planet. The CIA is still got, what is it? I'm not sure I say it the right way. It's still classified. You know, when you want to know what's really important and you're being ruled by global cults and banking and people that you don't ever get to meet while everybody's pretending they got a government, always look at what you're not allowed to look at. Well, that's what I do. I always think about what am I not allowed to know, what am I not allowed to see, and that usually lands you in classifications of documents, right? And so there's a document called the Adam and Eve story. Guy wrote a book a while ago. I think it was, what was it, back in the 60s he wrote the book, and immediately the CIA classified it. Recently they declassified a bunch of it because someone did some of it, because someone did a Freedom of Information Act request, and it is still the most redacted piece of information that's ever existed, right? For the 9/11, still something like, I keep messing it up. It's like 10-11% you can't read. Martin Luther King, like 5% still redacted, you can't read. JFK, still like around 10% or something like that you can't read. But the Adam and Eve document, it was declassified. 80% of the document was redacted. So whatever is in that document is highly significant. They refuse to let the global population see what's in that book. And I think that's very important. I think, to me alone, like, wherever you're not supposed to look, that's where you need to look. So for this morning, for the sake of argument, that's one reason that I'm not voting today. I refuse. I have no interest in voting today. As long as you got secrets from me, I can't vote for you. I think that's becoming my new status. I'm talking to Walt right now, my new mantra. I have to do it in a morning meditation. As long as you got secrets from me, I ain't voting for you. That's just not gonna happen. If you wouldn't marry somebody with secrets, why in the world would you vote for someone and leave your children and the next generation? Hang on. I'm trying to reauthorize the comments and all that. I see what the problem is. I can't talk while I'm trying to remember numbers. That's why I went into computer science, because I hate math. That's why I hated math. That's the only reason I went to, well, part of it was my father handed me a computer when I was very young, and I started writing software at like 7. But also he was a mathematician, so that really solved a lot of things for me. He was always beating me over the head with math, and it's like, yeah, we're not gonna do this when we're living. If that's what this is like, no, I don't get to go outside and play, can't play with G.I. Joes and stuff like that, because I haven't done my homework. Nah, we're gonna go into computer science. I told everyone to look into it. I said, look into the Adam and Eve document. Tell me what you think. Hang on. I put a password in, that, and that. I'm trying to bring the comments about something. So, and a lot of that kind of fits together. I guess I'm still talking to Walt with what we're looking in the background. Like, a lot of things happened on this planet a long time ago. All right, here we go. That should be it. So hopefully that works and the comments will come in. And it's being kept from us. And that's highly important, right? If we don't know, those who don't know, oh, that didn't work. It didn't work. I don't know what happened. Jacked up this morning. Those who do not know their past will not know their future. If you don't know where you came from, they can control anything about where you're going. No, it's not working. It's not letting me do it this morning. So that's not going to work. So I don't know what's going on. All right, more time on Facebook. Yeah, Robert, but we're leaving, I think. Are we leaving again? Robert Walker, didn't we decide? Didn't somebody decide for us that we're going to leave again? So I think everybody's picking their platforms. To me, it's kind of a fake news thing. I've seen this before. I've seen the Exodus. They trend towards doing horrible things, and people don't leave. So I'm looking at Gab, though. I've downloaded, I have an account. I've been playing around with it. I've been on MeWe. I think I'm on Reddit and a bunch of others, BitChute, whatever. So, I'm down with it. I'm down with whatever y'all want to do. But I'll probably post more and more on other platforms. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Ivana. Good morning. I'm in Baltimore this weekend. How are you, Sandra? Okay. Last time I went to Baltimore, I couldn't stand it. I left. I got there and I was like, no. Anywhere you need people with assault rifles, I gotta go. They had was Homeland Security was down there, and they said, yeah, I can't do the Inner Harbor. I can't do the Inner Harbor. If you need to have people with assault rifles here, you need to change your form of government. Something wrong with you. If you have people that you got to have a million laws and men with assault rifles, obviously the laws aren't for the people. People don't want the laws, so I left. I got family on Baltimore as well. Yeah, I had trouble getting on this morning. Yeah, Trish, something was weird this morning. Good morning, Amanda. I live near Rockville, D.C. Do you want? Okay, before agriculture. Oh, well, no, not before agriculture. You live there now. That's where I grew up, not too far from there. Before agriculture. Well, the funny thing about that, Walt, is we don't know what happened. That's the problem. And this is why, along with my point this morning, you can go anywhere y'all wanted to go, but power concedes nothing without demands. We haven't demanded to know. Modern agriculture could have started 20 million years ago, and we'd have no idea. We'd have no idea because we haven't demanded to know. And as long as we don't demand to know, they're going to keep us in the dark. As long as we keep voting for being serfs and peasants, nothing will ever change. And my position still hasn't changed on that. If you got to keep secrets, there's only two votes, right? You're either voting because you want to know and live in a real world where there are no secrets, an open source world, or you want to continue to be ruled by a master. And to me, it doesn't really matter if it's a Democrat, Republican, British, Russian, China. I don't really care who the master is. I'm not interested in the master. So in terms of voting, I really don't care. I don't care. If someone on the left is trying to convince me that I need to get Trump up, I don't really care. I hope he beats you. I hope he does, because you need to be beaten. You need to be spanked, right? People on the right, we got to keep Trump in. Well, I hope Jive Bowden wins. Why? Because you need to be beat. You need to be spanked. We literally have a world where abuse is the default. War is the model. Destruction and blowing up other countries and stealing their resources and throwing people in cages is the model. That's how we get fresh food in the morning from the grocery store or the fast food restaurants you go to. All of our jobs are attached to a black slave trade market, not black skin, but black in terms of it's black, it's dark, it's secret. They steal all this from other nations. I don't want any parts of that. That doesn't fit with my God. It doesn't fit with my ethics, my morals, none of the 10 commandments. So I can't have anything to do with any of them. I can't. My vote is to, and I was gonna get out there yesterday, I didn't have a chance, is to, what was it called? Deregister. Every 5 seconds I get a pop-up from Democrats or Republicans, I need to register to vote. So I know that means I need to unregister to vote. That's all I really care about. No, it's a great day. Somebody says not a good day. It's a great day. This is a fantastic day. It is for me. That seems dark. If politics seems like it's the answer, then yeah, that's really dark. But if politics and tribal conflict and robbing Peter to pay Paul and narcissistic sociopathic conflicts that are based in patriarchal, there's more of us so we're right. There's more of us so this is science. There's more of us so we can abuse you how we feel like it. If I still believed in that, that's a dark day. That's a very dark day. But I think, once again, this is the apocalypse. This is a great revealing. It is a great, great revealing. So there are dark things happening today, but I think in general it's a fantastic day. Good morning, Jennifer. You are amazing and appreciated. Thank you, Jennifer. And Jennifer Art Lover, you are amazing and appreciated as well. Everybody has a role to play. I'm just doing my little small part. California, the West Coast states are doomed. Ivana, the whole planet is doomed. The whole damn planet. Everything, coast to coast, sea to shine, continent to continent. We're done. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. I think Sister Lori was talking about going to Mexico, and I was just like, yeah, you might want to hold up on that one. You might want to think about that a little bit. Don't, go to a freer place if you need to skip town. If you see some really horrible things happening where you are, but don't set down roots anywhere. Mexico, if the United States Incorporated collapses under this banking shift that they're doing with the currencies, Mexico is going to be a power vacuum. Right? So will most of Latin America and Africa and all over. China and Russia will be rushing in. Other nations will be rushing in. Most people will try to get their freedom as well. You may not want to get caught in a country where there's a power vacuum. It doesn't go so well. Good morning, Sharon. I would ask somebody in Mexico before I went to Mexico. Good morning, Chris. Good morning, Jasmine. In November, I'm voting for a poll shift. Well, what? According to the CIA, it doesn't really matter whether we vote for it or not. Whether we vote for it or not does not matter. That joker is coming. Every 6,000 years, that's what they say. Every 6,000 years or so, that pole shift comes around. And it doesn't matter. And they don't tell us about it. They don't tell us about it. I think that when that comes back around, they keep technology, they go underground, they hide it. Maybe they go to space. Maybe they hang out on the moon. Maybe they just go up in a shuttle and come back down after the pole shift. But that's what I got from the Adam and Eve story. Was that they're hiding the pole shift. I think that was one part of it. And the other part of it is they want to keep religions where they are. Like, that's part of the CIA business, right? They need to keep everybody in conflict. And if you tell the Christians that their faith came from the same place everybody else's faith came from, then people wouldn't be in conflict. If everyone knew that the original root place of those scriptures of Genesis came from India, Buddhism and Hindu, and those texts were copied in Moses and Aaron did that story of the Naga gods of creation, which is what it was, then people won't be in conflict. You can't get the Christians to go murder people. You can't go get the Christians to thou shalt kill, murder, and destroy, steal, covet, and all that stuff. If they know we're all brothers. And it's not like a cheer for Hindu or Buddhism, because to me it's all the same thing when it comes to that anyway. Because there's a root religion that goes back even further than that. So the pole shift is coming no matter what we want. That's one reason Trump is saying he will be the last president. Holly, I hope he's the last president. I want a mantra for that too. I hope he is. I hope the United States Incorporated falls and we create a new world that's sentient in some sort of way. Good morning, Bonkers. Good morning, Pat. Hola Manos. See, I heard solar flash. Could happen this October. Could be, Lynn Murray. That could be the October surprise. Solar flare. They didn't want to tell us about. Oh, there's also an asteroid coming. Did you hear about that, Lynn? It says an asteroid twice the size of the pyramids on the way. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Sandy. So how come Susan gets up in the morning early when you got pyramids behind you? She doesn't get up early. She doesn't join early unless you got that. Or I'm late. I don't know. Happy birthday. Oh, it's Lori's birthday. Happy birthday, Lori. Happy birthday, Mrs. Lori. Happy birthday. I'm not even going to do that to you. Not going to do that. We won't fall. We won't fall for the magician's side of hand trick. I hope not, Bonkers, but we seem to be heading that direction. A lot of people. I still see people walking around with masks covering up their faces. Got them face diapers on. Sounds interesting. Tell us more about the Adam and Eve book. Oh, I would love to. What did it say? I'd love to, Robert Walker, but that's if people want to talk about that. It was powerful. It was powerful. I'll pull it up. You can go out to this. I recommend people, the first thing you want to do is go directly to the CIA's website and download it. Because one, it gives them a chance to install their apps on your machine. And it's on my machine, so that's where I got it from. But two, people like to change stuff. People like to lie. They like to make stuff up. Oh, good. Look at that. YouTube is at least working this morning. Maybe Facebook will come back in as well. Go download it. Somebody remind me if I missed something on it. But significant things about it. A summary. The poles shift. They shift quickly. Right? Like the only reason, if that's why they want to classify it about the pole shift, is that it doesn't take weeks or months or years. And it's not just a magnetic shift, it's a physical shift. There's a magnetic shift and then there's a physical shift. Don't get them twisted. When it shifts, there's warning that only a few people will know, and they don't want us to know the warnings. But when it shifts, it takes hours, right? And so it's total destruction, which is why we're a species with amnesia. We only have so much information about what happens. And when it happens, it destroys places like Northern Africa, right? So when that happened, and you had structures, civilizations, you could have had hundreds of millions of people who lived in Northern Africa in this very tropical rainforest type place. Building structures, technology evolved. But When it happens, it changes which way the rivers flow, right? It changes the structure of the land. It changes where it rains. It changes the climates and everything. And you just come back to chaos. And so if the pyramids are left, say there was 1 million pyramids all over northern Africa. What happens to sand when sand is just blowing around, right? Sand is blowing because everything's gone. Everything is either frozen or just totally wiped out in mud, right? The mud piles up and covers it. And so you would have structures that under hundreds of feet of sand or mud. Right? That's what the scientists who did the moisture studies found, is all those structures underneath there. That's one theory. The other is the religious theory. They want to keep all the religions fighting each other. But the fact that they still keep classified 80% of it, it means it is the most significant. Well, no, that's not true. I take that back. If they declassified 20% of it, then it means it is a very significant document. What's in that document is more important than what happened in 9/11. It's more important than Martin Luther King. It's more important than JFK. It's more important than Nikola Tesla, which I think they still classify 20% of his stuff. Can't have that as a secret. But probably the most important documents, they wouldn't even list. I mean, that's what I would think. That's the only way we can even process any of this. Well, the only way I can process it. I don't know. I can't tell anyone I know. I ask myself, if I were them, what would I do? And the most important things I wouldn't even write down. I wouldn't make a document. There wouldn't be a listing anywhere in any documents where anybody could launch a Freedom of Information Act request. Anyway, good morning. Good morning, Charles. It's another beautiful day in paradise. Reaching out to you from Fort Myers, Florida. All right, Charles. Yes, it's beautiful down in Florida. Thank you for that. Good morning, brother. Have we chosen a gathering place? What kind of gathering place, Sandy? You mean like physically or like internet, social media wise? Question about the whole censorship thing. I was thinking about it this morning. It was interesting. Weird thoughts come to my mind. I happened to be in the shower and I was thinking about they filter posts, they delete posts, they censor posts to protect us because they're dangerous. Right? The posts are dangerous, like they're protecting the public, social media, that's always their excuse. They're protecting us from harm and danger. And some people still believe that narrative. And I was thinking about it, I was like, but in between the posts that you're deleting, you do realize those are pharmaceutical commercials ads between those posts. And if you go to the manufacturer's site or look on the back of the bottle, they usually always list death as a side effect. There's a whole bunch of them. Death, bloody anus, vomiting from your ears and eyes, your hair falls out, one butt cheek fall off, and it's like, wait a minute, what about that harm? Like, people are posting stuff about the pyramids, they're deleting the posts. They're posting stuff about bankers and scamdemics and all of this stuff. And you're deleting all of that. We gotta protect the public. Don't wear your face diaper. They delete that post, but they keep all the pharmaceutical ads up. Interesting world. I like it when people say things that don't make any sense. That's why I say it's not a dark time. When people go ignorant, when they go full bore ignorance, then it becomes obvious. Hey, Kentucky Fried Mama. Good morning. Good morning, Miss Tree. So many to pick from, confusing. I hate to lose track of everyone and don't have time for running from site to site to find. Well, that's kind of my problem, Sandy. I am kind of based on Facebook, so I'll go spend time on more sites, but I think it's kind of the base. People are trading off emails and phone numbers and stuff like that. I think all of that is good. I'm not against any of that, Sandy. But, it's probably a natural metastasis, if I can use that. Is that the right word? What is that word when you kind of shake things up, get the cells oxygenated, moving around and bopping and doing stuff? What is that called? I think it's necessary because we're too dependent on this stuff. Right? Like, this can't be good for us. It can't be good for us to let a few people dictate what kind of discussions we have. Like, very seldom do I even get in discussions here anymore because it's like, what's the point? Like, what really is the point of getting in discussions here if they're just going to censor information that you post as true that violates one of their advertisements that's selling you a product that's poisonous? Right? That's not helping the public. That actually is putting the public directly in harm's way. Which is why I hope this RFK lawsuit, I hope it goes all the way. I don't want it to go part of the way. I want it to go all the way. I'm hoping that this ends in criminal trials, right? Because that's really what it is if you are keeping from the public information they need to be safe, You're colluding with criminal organizations. You're colluding with cults. You're colluding with pharmaceutical industries that are poisoning people and defying them from knowing what's true. That is treason. That's a whole bunch of stuff. But minimally, it's like an accomplice to murder. I mean, how many people died in the shutdown? They say 1 million people. I guess I'm just rolling through comments this morning. If you decide to leave, please let us know which platform. I want to keep this group, even if it's a couple platforms. Well, I'm already over there, Bonker, so I mean, you can find me on Twitter. A lot of the family's already over there. BitChute, YouTube, Minds, Gab, and I think Reddit. Yeah, I think I'm on Reddit. So yeah, I mean, go find me over there. I think it's on my profile. If you actually click on the profile, it'll show you link. Nope, didn't receive. Send it right there. I'm gonna try one more time, see if I can put it in the Facebook comments. I can't do two things at once. That whole chewing bubble gum and walking thing, I don't do that no more. All right, good morning. Good morning, Mike Russo. Good morning. I love your perspectives. I just passed on some of your wisdom to others. But Lynn Marie, it's not my perspective. It's not my wisdom. You know, this stuff is always handed down to us. All I'm doing is handing down what my grandparents taught me, what your grandparents taught you, everyone's taught everyone's, and it's all one collective. I try to take an outside perspective in everything, Lynn. I'm convinced that we won't ever be told what's true unless we demand it. That's the title of this one right here, which is, power concedes nothing without demand. You have to demand it. You have to be willing to pay whatever that price is for it. The powerful people in this world aren't going to back down. They shouldn't back down. They should keep going forward, and they should keep going forward. Oh yeah, VK also. Thank you, somebody. Somebody said VK. Yeah, VK also. All right, I'll make YouTube big. Just put a little Viagra on YouTube. I'll make it all big because it isn't going to work. Something weird is happening with Facebook right now. I think they were choosing to ban me or not. AI is trying to decide that right now because that Scooby-Doo post. Did y'all see the Scooby-Doo? Oh, the Scooby-Doo post was so funny. I'll show it to you. Hold on. Y'all are so damn creative. Y'all are hilarious. You know what? This is the best end of the world that I think I've ever had. Maybe we've done this before. This is a great end of the world. This is a fantastic end of the world. All right, hang on. Keep aspect ratio, and I need to make it taller. Enhance, resize. Yes, height. This right here. Nope. Oh no, that's where it's in. I'm trying to make it bigger. Nope. Yeah, there you go. That's it right there. I'm trying to put a little Viagra on it. Hold on. Okay, so when I do this, it gets bigger. I can't make it tall. Look at that. Look at that. I'm a little nasty friend. I'll say something about that. Anyway, we'll work that the best we can. It's the peasants and serfs. It's the peasants and serfs. Well, yes, Lynn, we are peasants and serfs in commodities, and I don't think any children should be anymore. So I think we all change our behavior. Today is September 4th, an auspicious day when Lori Ruth Riley, happy birthday, girl from Sandra. Happy birthday once again, Lori. Boom, boom, boom. Amanda, what's that? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, Jennifer. Let's see. 2016, Bernie betrayed us and ended my voting. But Jennifer, that was a good thing. Jennifer Carroll Cahill, Bernie was a good thing. Trump was a good thing. Obama was a good thing. I can't really go back to Bush and say he was. Can't go back before that. But they're all just revealing, right? In their own little ways, it was all an apocalypse, right? More revealing. And so currently, like, to me, what I saw Obama when he started doing what Bush did. It sent other people into living more from a personal perspective, realizing that you can keep changing the guard and it's not going to change the model. Bernie came along. He had some good ideas. And when they sold him out, it showed more people that they really don't give two damns about what you want. The DNC has no interest in what you're thinking. or what you think you want your children to have. And so they picked Hillary, and then Trump came along. Another outsider. These guys, for the most part, they have outside ideas. Let's say that. But Trump, another outsider. He wasn't a lawyer. He wasn't a politician, and none of that stuff. And here we are coming through a global pandemic, and he was plotting to invade Venezuela since the Koch brothers required it back then. And I love it. It's a great revealing because it makes it very obvious that he is not fighting pedophilia. Nobody's that stupid. Nobody's that stupid to do that inside the United States Incorporated, because where does most human trafficking come from? War. Where does most rape happen? War. Where do immigrants come from? Us destroying other countries. So no one can convince me that he wants to keep immigrants out, which is what his voters want. Building walls higher, and you're trying to turn Venezuela into Honduras, the place where femicide exists. If Jesus comes back and sees Honduras, you better hope that Jesus doesn't come back and land in Honduras. If he comes back and lands in Honduras, America is going to be just one big pile of ash. All right, one big pile of ash. So I think it's a good revealing. I think we are in apocalypse. So I appreciate Bernie Sanders. I appreciate Trump. I appreciate Obama. Maybe they're secretly doing this to help us. Maybe they're trying to help us to recover our ethics and our morals and our faith and the things that we say that we believe in. Swing! Thank you, Fried Mama. Is that from Bill and Ted's? I think they got a new Bill and Ted's movie coming out. Oh, there goes another Walter Lee. Good morning, Walter Lee. I got a question. Does anyone know if the mark of the beast is not being able to buy and sell has happened before? I would bet you that it has, bonkers. I think we just keep repeating cycles. I believe in the college that was the yugas. We just keep going through these yugas, and those yugas tie in with the cycles of the pole shifts, and that tie in with Lemuria and Atlantis and all the other civilizations that came before us, and the great big megaliths in Russia that nobody has any idea how, who, where, or why they built all this stuff. I think that all feeds it together. I think we always come around to this, and that's why I think that these prophets knew, is they just tapped into, I don't know, cellular memory, soul, whatever, but they somehow tapped into knowing what happens all the time, right? Jesus called a fit, Yeshua, whatever you want to call him, when the bankers were in the church, right? Because they know what happens. Every time we make artificial currency, we end up in a time where whoever has the most currency dictates everything. You can vote all you want. You can have whatever government you want. You can do and say as you please. If once you make a currency, whoever owns that currency owns the entire damn world. And I think that's why I call it a case. And then we proceeded to give every church a bank account. Let me see. Chips and credit cards can be considered a mark, and many are homeless that cannot buy or trade. And Amanda, in this, I thank you for that reply. I think you're replying to him. So that's my point. I think it always goes that way. I think there are probably some subtle differences, but in general, it always ends up that way. Eventually, those with all the power and the money, they need better and better ways to control the population. So they come up with the mark of the beast. They have to find ways to compel the population. They have to find ways to turn your neighbors against neighbors, and that whole chip, new vaccine, Bill Gates mark of the beast. You can't buy or sell if you don't have it. Get your driver's license replaced now. Get your car re-registered right now, because the word is they can't force a vaccine into people, but they will compel you. Right? You won't be able to buy or sell, and if you can't buy or sell, you will get the vaccine. Unless you stand on principles. I'm standing on principles, because when you're hungry enough, you'll do anything. But I think it always goes this way, and I think that's why they do it. Hashtag mud flood. Yes, one big massive mud as the pole shifts, wiping out all of civilization. And then we would be clueless to it, but the few who digs up those documents, the few who can read the tablets and the Temple of Dendra, I think it was Temple of Dendra that told the story of Atlantis too, which is when we knew it was true. All right, first Plato said it, and then they found it on the temple walls. It was a Temple of Dendra. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. That confirmed that. And then we have the pole shifts to confirm that. And then you got the Richard structure that confirms that. What's going on, Jerome Beamer in the house? Another good brother, makes a lot of good jokes. You gotta laugh through the apocalypse. Laugh through the apocalypse or you might cry. I just got a pop-up. Key model predicts 400,000 U.S. cuckoo virus something. I'm not really even interested. I don't even care. Scam. Whoa, scam. Tony, scam for me now. It was all a scam. It's all a scam and a hoax. Doesn't mean people didn't die. It means it's all a scam and a hoax. They're up to something a lot worse. What's something I wanted to show you this morning? Good morning, Kim. PCG won't say full. Oh, but yeah. No, I won't say that, Pat. It's just I take certain words out my vocabulary. They offend people. I try not to offend as many people. I try not to offend people. I love snot bubbles. I love to get people to think and reflect, but I pissing people off. So certain things I try to avoid not to say. When you try to inform people, 40% respond with conspiracy tinfoil. Yeah, they do walk, but that's good that they were. And this I got to specifically walk Pareto. That's a good thing. It's a good thing, because what is a conspiracy? Conspiring. When do we first conspire? I used to conspire probably the first time I got a rattle, right? Because my brothers would, they wouldn't get the attention because they were older than me and I was born. I probably first started conspiring, and I knew that if I cried, I got the attention, So I cried a lot. I think babies start conspiring right from the very beginning. What is kindergarten? What is grade school? It's teaching your kids how to be better than others. You're conspiring. What school, honey, we're gonna put them in? We're gonna move here, move there to put them in this school because they'll get this, that, and the other, and they'll be better than the other children. They'll be smarter. They'll get better jobs. They'll get better grades. And so we're always conspiring. Everything is a conspiracy. When you put groups in conflict against each other and children in conflict, everything is a conspiracy, right? There are just things, Walt, I think that are plausible and things that aren't. And most things I speak about seem very plausible. So yeah, conspiracy, everything, literally, which is funny to me. I love the word. I think it's hilarious. That's a conspiracy theory. Like, do you have a job? Do you have a degree? Did you race to buy that car from the dealership before someone else? Okay. You conspired against? Okay. Everything's a conspiracy. But it's funny. It's like the California law. Right, the SB 145, I'm saying, right? It's bad when poor people abuse other people, but it's okay when the elites do it. It's bad when poor people do it. It's fantastic and wonderful. We ignore it when we do it as a model, right? Pedophilia is bad, war is good, right? So Epstein Island bad, but blowing up entire continents of people, it's okie dokie. As long as the elites, the lords and the kings do it, right? And so that's kind of how, I view stuff like that. It's a conspiracy when poor people do it. But it's okay when governments do it. Like, literally, the CIA is a conspiracy organization. That's what they do. And then they lie about the rest of it. Homeland Security, they're listening to us right now with the NSA and everybody else. Are they not conspiring to help their overlords, their supervisors, their managers get what they want? Of course they are. For bankers, colonizers, 13 families, not for your government, because they don't work for the government. Government isn't the master, they're not the boss, they're the slave. You raise the vibration of our community. Sometimes I try to, Jennifer, do the best that I can. I think all of this is pretty funny. I think it's all pretty funny. I don't think people ever die. Good morning, Christine. Good morning, Laura. And if you don't ever die, then you should live how you're supposed to. If you live by 10 commandments, then I think you should do that. If you really believe that you will go to hell if you don't do that, then I think you should do that. I think you should call out Trump when he's not that. Same thing with the Obama. I used to go to church with a bunch of people who liked Obama. I was like, y'all know in church, they say you're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to put a whole bunch of brown people in prison. Why is Obama putting all these brown people in? The same thing with Trump. Why are you writing laws, put more police on the prison? You know that the number one killer of white males in the country is police. So, well, that's not true. That's cardiovascular disease. But if police kill white men more than black men, and Trump is putting more police on the street, then why is he don't like white men so much? Think about that. They always take who you blindly follow to abuse you. That's how it's always worked. Stop texting while driving, Christine wins. Yes, Christine wins. No texting and typing while driving. Put the phone down. Nobody dying doing nothing stupid. We got governments doing stupid stuff all day long. They gonna crash the whole earth. Okay? We gotta be smarter than that. Christine wins is very smart. Please drive responsibly. The present creates the past. Alan Watts. Ooh, the present creates the past. Yes. Time doesn't even exist. Time doesn't even exist, Susan. I love time. Such an interesting conversation because time dilation. They knew about time dilation 4,000 years ago in the Sanskrit text. So obviously they've been to space. They wrote about it. The further you get from Earth, the slower your body clock goes. Time, literally our time, is dependent upon this planet somehow, which is really, really weird. I was thinking about that, Susan. You're gonna send me down a weird place. I think so. The further you get from Earth, the slower time goes. I think Michael Mendoza posted something this morning talking about time. He said that man created time. Well, of course, the elites created time to get forced labor slaves out of us, right? Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. But the further you get from Earth, the slower time goes. Is it possible that the further you get from humans that believe in time, is that why time slows down? The further you get from humanity, the slower time goes. Now, what I'd like to see is approaching a planet the size of Earth. Is time really in a relational pull with gravity? Or does time have to do with the quantum entanglement of human beings that believe in time? You know, how everything interacts and how consciousness is a part of the universe. Everything has this piece of consciousness stuff, like it's Planck energy or whatever. It's at the core of the universe. Rocks have it, and just interfacing with it, the measurement of the rock creates the water that you throw it across. How they thought that the double slit experiment, that they thought it was consciousness that controlled whether the wave was a wave or a particle, but it turns out the measuring device did it too. So everything measures everything. What if we're all measuring each other and we are holding each other prison to this time frame? So the further you get from humanity, the slower time goes. Bill Nye, the science guy. What are y'all talking about, Pat? Bill Nye doesn't know no science. Bill Nye's not the science guy. Bill Nye's a salesman. I love him to death, but he's just a salesman. Bitcoin was the biggest test before the cashless, and morons ate it up. Yeah. I'm not much of a currency person anymore, man. I don't think currency should exist. I think as long as we create it and it can control humans and humanity, it's always going to be co-opted at some point in time. I just think currency doesn't have reason to exist. I think it should just go away, and 3D printers will replace it. Have you guys heard of Trump rebuilding the third Jewish temple in Jerusalem? The book of Revelation says that the Jews will start sacrificing again in these times before the rise of the Antichrist. Do you think the world religion, do you think the one world religion will be soon? Bonkers, I think, like all that prophecy stuff, I think a lot of it may have been people looking forward, or a lot of it is that this always happens and it keeps re-happening. Some of the details are different. I think that for the same reason the CIA hid the Adam and Eve story, they classified it. They use religion all the time just to control the human population. I don't think it takes away from the validity of some scriptures, but they always utilize it. Like the reason why people are still cheering on conservatives is because they think that they are on some Jesus agenda. They think that Christ is smiling down upon them because they vote for Trump. In the same way with Obama, you had that post, was a People magazine, said Obama was Jesus or something like that. They had him walking on water. People use religion for power, for money, for vote. They use religion to violate every last one of those 10 commandments. All right? So yeah, I think they use those narratives of what's happening there, but I think it's because they read the book and people respond to it. I think that if those things happen, if and when, it won't be through the political system. Like, I mean, just think about it like that. Christ didn't even have anything to do with Caesar. Christ wouldn't have nothing to do with no Republicans or Democrats or the political system. When and if that stuff happens, it's just going to happen. I don't think it's going to be based on nobody voting. It's not. God doesn't care about your election machine. So no, I just think they're using that. And over there, the problem isn't the Jews, right? The Jews believe in the Torah. The problem is the Zionists. The Zionists are the ones who are rebuilding the temple, and they're not supposed to, according to the Torah. Right? That's the problem. People don't read those scriptures anyway, so they don't know what to believe. They're just going along with stuff. So I like to specify the Jewish people, they're just brothers and sisters like everybody else. You know, and so are the Zionists. But the Zionists are the ones in error. Right? They're the ones who are taking that land. Because all the dispute over there, I mean, Britain calls that anyway. Britain promised that land to so many people, to 3 different groups, if I remember right. And those groups have always been conflict over it. You know, we can give everybody over there what they need. I mean, we don't have to pick a team. So I don't even pick a team in that. I'd say, well, you know what? Listen, if Jewish people are born there, who's to tell them that they don't have any right? Now, the people who colonize, that's some point. But there are people who, it's already been a generation. You already have multiple generations that were born there. And they all used to get along anyway. Christian, Muslim, Jew, atheist, they all used to get along, no problem at all. They used to sit at cafes and drink that stuff. They can get along again. We're literally keeping people in conflict. And so Zionists, they want that conflict. Anybody who has any actual religion or faith or belief in anything in them, most religions are about love and getting along. So yeah, I don't really even dig into that too much. It's just, to me, it's nonsense. It's people who don't read scriptures who are just going along with what they hear. It's no different than people who just watch television and just put face diapers on. Oh, I have zero confidence in security of Bitcoin. Oh yeah, and you shouldn't, Pat. Not at all. I'm sure they can take it anytime they want. And the IRS, of course, already is all over it. Oh yeah, well, Pat, I would bet you that the international bankers who run all this, they've already got, they already know. They always have plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, and there's no way, as popular as Bitcoin is, they haven't already taken over that. So yeah, we have to get away from this idea of power and control. Currency is all about power and control. Money is a representation of human labor. We need to stop worshiping slavery. We got to stop believing in slavery. We got to stop looking at slaves on ATM statements, you know, on a receipt. As long as our labor can be put into a digital format or into the representation of money, slavery will exist. Power will exist. And as long as power will exist, the people with the most jewels and the people with the most power will decide everything. We will never be free as long as we believe in money. Never. Adam Green, nomorenews.org, does amazing work on these subjects. Okay, thank you, Walt. I'll take a look at it. So Jesus destroyed Libya, Africa, success story. So Jesus destroyed Libya, question mark. Africa success story. I don't know anything about that, Sinclair. I'm sorry. Sun, the moon, and stars will move at the rate. However, one is apt to manipulate perspective. Well, yeah, we'll love Earth, and that's kind of where I'm going with that in terms of humanity. So if we are manifestation engines and we manifest things when we think about them, everybody thinks about time. Everybody thinks about gravity. Everybody, you know, to a degree, we probably enslave each other to that. And so that's where I was kind of going with that further you get from Earth stuff. All right, I know there's something I'm going to show you. Ooh, 5G was just what we don't need. Okay, stopthecrime.net. Yeah, if y'all don't follow stopthecrime.net, you should. That's Deborah Tavares. I just got my pop-up. Bitcoin equals digital currency, and that's really what it comes down to, Lord. As long as you have currency, you're going to have slavery. If you got digital currency, it's going to be highly efficient slavery. Ooh, this is what I want to do. Let me see if I can play this. Things are acting weird this morning, so I'm not sure if this is going to actually work. Give me a minute. I can't get it. It's from Facebook. Weird things are happening. But it's okay. It's all going to be okay. Oh, look at that. That worked. Let's skip that.
controversial subject. The theories expressed are not the only possible interpretation. Viewers are invited to make a judgment based on all available information.
Everyone watching now, please share this link via the sidebar to any and all of your social media channels. This is important. Simply ask your friends and family to give us 15 minutes. That's all we ask.
That is the foundation of human control. This cult is constantly dictating when it goes up and when it goes down. But no one ever talks about it. Why? This is fundamental, and I never hear any political party talk about this. I don't hear the wokers talk about it. I don't hear any of them talk about it. This cult has achieved economic dominance on an ever more extreme scale, thus dominance of the choices of freedom of the population, by creating a situation in which they can lend money that doesn't exist, called credit, to the population, and then charge interest on it, and taking as collateral wealth that does exist, land, resources, homes, businesses. And if the population doesn't pay back the credit money that is a figment of the imagination, created out of nothing basically, then the people issuing the credit, i.e. the banking system owned by the cult, gets your wealth that does exist. And through the generations, this exchange of non-existent theoretical money called credit for real wealth and resources has sucked the wealth of the world into the hands of the few. And through that dominance of financial control, they dictate the choices, or lack of them, of the population. And they dictate the choices of black people, white people, Asian people, all different kinds of people and sexualities. Why are governments borrowing money from private banking systems and the population paying interest upon that borrowing? Why aren't the governments issuing their own currency interest-free and lending it to the population interest-free to go about their commerce and go about their lives, creating opportunities and choices that they wouldn't otherwise have? Why are we allowing a privately owned, in the end, by a tiny few people, banking system to issue non-existent credit money and then be able to take the wealth of the people if they don't pay it back? And there's another thing on this. The same people that lend the money, the credit, dictate if the economy goes up or the economy goes down. Thus, they can lend lots of money and there's a boom. And then they can crash the economy and people can't pay back the loans that they took out. So what happens then? Those that have lent the non-existent credit and crashed the economy can then suck up all the wealth that was put as collateral for the non-existent money. Now,
Do you see why? This is why I started off this video singing scam. Whoa, scam. Democrats and Republicans, digital dollar for me now, right? It's a scam. It's always been a scam. You know, but why don't governments talk about it? Why don't they do anything about it? Because obviously they're being controlled. As long as we believe in money, central banks will exist. As long as central banks exist, your governments will be slaves to them. They can do anything they want with your nation. They can do anything they want with your house, your car, your land, your government. They can collapse your entire nation. They own everything. And you're dependent on other nations around the world that mine and manufacture things that are also beholden to those bankers. And this is where global power comes from. They control it all. As long as at our level we believe in money, we believe in currency, then they will rule the world. They'll rule the world. That's why it's pointless to vote. And it's a bad idea to be registered to vote, because the politicians can't do anything about it, and they're not going to do anything about it. The people have to demand it. And in fact, back to the name of the video. Power concedes nothing without demands, and nobody's demanding anything. We demand that they stay in power. We demand that our children stay slaves. We demand that their power increase election after election after election after election. Nations are not sovereign. Nations are slaves. Nations haven't existed in a long time. All you have are industries and corporations beholden to those banks. Those industries and corporations vie to be at the top. where countries used to be. And then you have the fantasy world, right? You have the media world. You have this world that is based in all the fantasies that keep the population chasing their tails. Yeah, we have to unregister to vote. No, Barbara, I have not yet. I was going to go out there yesterday. You got to go to your Secretary of State, is what the brother said yesterday. Your Secretary of State website to unregister. You have to unregister. It's not about, nothing is political anymore. Nothing is national anymore. This is all about global slavery, rolling into version 2.0 with these bankers, moving into a digital format, the few families that will own all of your children, the people who are not subject to any laws, the people who can abuse, rape, rob, pillage anybody they want to at any time. They're not even beholden to the laws. Maintaining control. You know, they'll flood your mind all day long with the election for it. Trump, Pence, Kamala. Did you know what I heard about that woman this morning? What did I say? Did you know that woman, not only was she a dirty cop, she was a dirty, I guess, was she a DA? Like, she was a prosecutor. She was known for defying, allowing DNA tests to let innocent people out of prison. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I mean, I don't follow the kings and the lords, but apparently when people were trying to get out of prison because they were falsely accused, and most of them were brown, as I hear the story told, that she would defy their access to DNA evidence to make sure that they stayed in prison, that she fought prosecutions being overturned. That was the I don't say the gold standard. I love when the gold standard. I hate how he says that little thing. But that apparently is what she was known for, is fighting to prevent prosecutions from being overturned to ensure that innocent people stay in prison. And there was one guy, they were telling the story, one guy, I guess, he was in prison for 13 years, and Kamala fought to keep him in there. And when he got out, they had to pay him $13 million, $1 million for each year he was in there. And as they were telling it, but you know, you can't buy somebody off for stealing their life from them. You can't steal 13 years from somebody and expect you to pay him off for it. And psychologically, he's damaged for life because of what happened to him while he was in there. Good morning, Sandra. Politics is theater for the bewildered herd. It is, Walt, and we got to grow up. We got to grow past it. We got to see through it. We got to recover our street smarts and see through this nonsense. Good morning, Deanna. You asked what people thought about the mask. Robin Brantley. Oh, did you tag somebody? Oh, did you tag me, Deanna, so I could tell your friend Robin Brantley what I think about masks? What I think about masks, Deanna, in a way that just doesn't get the video deleted, I just go to OSHA's website. That's all I do anymore. Just go to OSHA's website. That's all you gotta do. Go to OSHA's website. Or do some searches online to see how you can open a business modifying viruses of the corona family. And check the regulation for OSHA to find out what you're supposed to wear to prevent the transmission of the corona family viruses. And that ends the discussion. Like, you know, Deanna, I don't really even say anything to anybody anymore. I just say, go look it up. You'll be surprised what you need. You will literally not only be sued as an employer, you will go to prison if you put people in a laboratory working with this stuff, which is, I find it highly interesting. And our friend in Texas, who actually, as a nurse, who quit her job, is like, you know what, I can't do this. I'm not doing this. We were overrun. She said, I will never die. I saw my nurse friends die, and I think a doctor got sick from whatever this thing was. How in the world do you send medical professionals to work with something that you know does not stick to droplets? That's insanity. You should be able to sue your government for it. Them telling them lies. But all the people got to do, Deanna, all they got to do is look it up. That's all they got to do. Or you just use your common sense. You know, do these particles, do they stick to droplets? And that's assuming that you even believe in virus theory. I listen to virologists, so we don't have it figured out. It's not settled science. No science is actually settled. California voter registration, cancel request form. Go on, Pat, you just throwing it out there. That's what we need to do. If we actually get a big thing of millions of people unregistering, Pat, I think that they'll notice. You know, I don't know that it'll become anything, but I think that they'll notice. Like, part of what the government's there for, because they don't have any real, the governing corporation, part of the reason why they're there is to keep the people entertained by the circus. As long as they keep the people entertained, they keep their jobs. If people start walking away saying it doesn't really matter, like no matter who we vote for, you build more prisons, you write more laws, you put more people in prison, you shoot more people in the streets, you start more wars, you blow up more countries, you create more immigrants that come to the wall. You know, it's like Venezuela right now. We need to know the name of the gangs in Venezuela now, because they're coming here. If the Navy ships are all out there surrounding, they're coming here. I actually know what I wanted to look at that. Let's let David Icke say the rest of it. But you know, when people have had enough and they stop believing in the system, then I think they'll notice. But as long as people are lining up to vote and they want to keep playing Sparta, and we always lose, no matter what political party you are, as long as you're a captive of that country, we're going to keep giving them power. Every time you cast that lever, new bankers get their wings. I didn't register to begin with. Lots of laughter here in Australia. If you register and I don't vote, you get fined. But that's a good thing, Bonkers. I didn't know you were in Australia. Bonkers, you need to run. You need to get the hell out of there. They literally made Australia back to the open air prison. It was originally, well, after it was colonized. Prior to that, it was free. And I wouldn't even think about Rick like that. The people are locked in their houses. I'm not telling you anything. You live there, but it's just like when you live on a plantation, you never vote for the plantation. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Gerard, someone posted that the five-sided D organization has ordered the Stars and Stripes publication to be taken down and out. The five-sided disorganization ordered the Stars and Stripes publication to be taken out. I'm not sure what that explained that to me, Miss Tree. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hiders and sleepers. I'm saying that Kamala is a fascist. Yeah, they're all fascists. Kentucky Fried fascists fighting fascists on all sides. They're all fighting. You know, I like, who was it? Bill Maher, who said, and I haven't watched Bill Maher in probably 10 years since I think he sold out, but he had an interview. He had an interview with George Carlin. I want to play something from George Carlin this morning. An interview, real quick, just like 3 minutes. At the end, George Maher said, fascism is when corporations run the government. Which political party is not for corporations running the government? If all political parties take lobbyist funds from industries and the corporations, which political party is not for corporations running the government? All of them. That literally is the definition of corporations running the government. If corporations can write a check and the government that person does what they're told to do, the corporations run the government. So it's all fascists, right? All sides. Good Nazis, yep. Fourth Reich, Kentucky Fried Mama. Fourth Reich. You know, but I like how Ike puts it. I mean, the world is run by a cult, and if central banking is a cult at the top, and we don't know what's above that, all the way down to our level with these little bank accounts, if it's not righteous at the top, it's not delicious and righteous at the bottom. If it's evil at the top, it's evil at the bottom.
Now, what we're going to see in relation to what I've just said is a frenzy of repossession of properties. A frenzy as the cult, which owns the banking system, sucks up more of the wealth and resources of the world because of a pandemic hoax that crashed the world economy, which the ones that control the banking system were behind. Because the same people, the same cult is behind the banking system. If people want to focus on how we get our freedom back, then private banks lending money at interest, non-existent money called credit, has to end, or at least it has to be an add-on. We need a system, not a communistic system, but a system where governments are able to issue the currency interest-free. Because you say to people...
And he's right about that, right? If you want your nation back, your nation has to own its own currency. If you don't own your own currency, you're not actually a nation. You're just a female dog. That's all you are. If you don't own your own currency, you are not a nation. You are a slave to whoever owns that currency. But this has always been the plan of how to rule the world. I'm gonna move off of that on something else. I'll post a link. You can watch the whole thing. I try to do that. I show a clip and then I'll post a link so that you can go watch and support the person who did it. Good morning, Angela. There was something else I thought that was kind of interesting. Oh yeah, just a lawyer talking about SB 145. We can talk about that if y'all want to, but like I said, I haven't read the law, so I don't have a whole lot to get into on that. There's something else I thought was interesting. Yeah, human beings stopped evolving. Listen to Sag Guru this morning. We stopped evolving. Monkeys are still evolving. He told a good story about monkeys and human beings and how monkeys are still moving forward. They're still moving. I think that he said that, well, what do they say? That they're in the Stone Ages now? And human beings stopped evolving. Part of the reason I think we stopped evolving is banks and currency. We're kept in conflict, so we can't go any further. And we're not going to go any further till we get rid of it. To get your nation back, you got to print your own currency. To get your world back, you have to get rid of money. It really is that simple. Egypt, Africa. I do want to show something on that. Yeah, I haven't heard anything from Bright Insight in a while. He got quiet, but that's kind of how this thing goes. When you finally blow things up, and he was the one who blew up the Richard structure. If you never heard of Bright Insight's finding of Atlantis, he's got a great video on that. But after that, he blew up, so he doesn't do much anymore. Great genius mind. Now, this is about Africa, and this is what I'm saying is that if we don't know our past, we won't know the future. And in the past, the whole world was covered by civilizations that have all been extinct, and we're going extinct because we keep following this same pattern and this same path.
Share something very interesting with you that involves the Sahara Desert and the Recot structure. But the point right now is that the latest scientific evidence shows us that a massive network of rivers traveled through the Sahara before whatever it was that happened to turn it into a desert, where it was then consumed with sand and long forgotten, not to be discovered until at least 5,000 years later. And speaking of being consumed with sand, here's something interesting to think about, which is the condition that Egypt was initially found when it was surveyed by outsiders in more modern times. Most of it was completely buried in sand for thousands of years. It's almost as if the actual people who created these mind-boggling structures were wiped out and erased from memory before others eventually arrived and made it their home. I mean, let's not forget that not one single hieroglyph or petroglyph shows anything about the pyramids. Literally nothing. Not one single one. Why is that? What's that about? I mean, hell, let's not forget the awkward fact that the modern language in Egypt is not even close to the same language that the dynastic Egyptians spoke. And we have only made any sense of Egyptian hieroglyphs because of the Rosetta Stone. Just think about that. Could this be further evidence that two completely different civilizations lived there, thousands of years apart? Perhaps separated in time following the collapse of the Green Sahara? I mean, clearly something occurred in Egypt to erase so much and create the incredibly mysterious nature of this lost civilization that we debate so much about today. Much of which was somehow destroyed. Massive statues toppled over, and not only that, what on earth destroyed certain pyramids? There is more than one like this. An unexplained mystery that very few people are even aware of. And I say mystery because no, I do not believe that a bunch of angry people with copper sledgehammers did this, not for a second. However, that's a topic for another video that I'll certainly make, but...
Yeah, you can get into like the destroyed pyramids and you know, the theories that nuclear bombs used to exist. Who created the atom bomb? They asked him something weird in an interview once, where basically it was it went along the lines that we're always reverse engineering, we're always rediscovering, there's nothing new under the sun, all of this all got created before. Oh, so that just fell out of my head. That's a scripture. There's nothing new under the sun. All of this happened before. There was a great interview I want to show you. I mean, I could go through the details of that, but the inventor of the atom bomb, they asked him, how did it feel now that you created the atom bomb, blah, 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 blah. And he said something to the effect of, well, you know, it's the first one that we've made in modern times. Right? He gave an indicator like Nikola Tesla did, like Edgar Casey did, like many of the minds did, that we've done this before. And that after we get wiped out, we just rediscover the things that we've done before. I do want to change it. So I love all of it today. Today is a fascinating time to be alive because all of this feeds together. All of this links together. You can talk about central banking and voting and ancient archaeology and free energy and UFOs and aliens, and it all feeds together. We literally live on an open air prison. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse and worse until we grow the hell up. Said my video yesterday got deleted. Yep, that probably did happen. Sometimes, Barbara, you got to watch the stuff right away. You got to watch it right away. Like when people send me stuff now and they're like, hurry up and watch this before it gets deleted. I hurry up and watch this because I know it's going to get deleted. You know, they're making an artificial reality for everybody, and they're getting better and better and more efficient at that artificial reality by wiping history. Like to me, that was just, that's a book burning. Right? When you delete a video, you delete a post, you censor it, you're literally doing what the Spanish and the British did when they colonized Latin America, North America. They deleted history. Right? They burned up all the ancient texts they found, they destroyed everything they had. They literally are deleting history. If Lori posts something and they delete it, they literally wipe that from ever existing. And there's nothing more evil than a book burning. And there's a good There's a good group now. I think they're called digital book burnings or something like that. There's a website, digital book burnings, something like that, where they're fighting social media, you know. And so hopefully, and RFK is a part of it. RFK is a part of it. There's something I want to show you. Is this it? Yes, this is it right here. Check this out.
No, white Republic.
This was an interview. I love George Carlin. This man was such a prophet.
Republicans or whatever the polling was, but is there a period of time, have we gotten there? Because Mencken predicted that eventually we'd actually elect the dumbest guy in America. Are we going to someday elect a satirical president, a guy who really has no intention of having he's doing it as a sales tool for something else?
Well, we're working on it. I mean, we did elect something of that nature in 2000 and 2004. If you want to look at it from a long distance, you know, if you're up close, it may not be that. I was around in 1960 when Professor Irwin Corey ran for president, and I was around in 1968 when Pat Paulson ran for president, and I think Larry Flint had a go at it there. For a while. It's you know, it's why is he the fifth among Democrats? Doesn't he play a Republican on television?
Yeah, apparently he comes in 10th or 11th down there with Tom Tancredo. He's only got like 1% of the Republicans, because he is, as Bob and Ray once posited, was the best way to try to get elected, run for both the Democratic and Republican nominations. You have two chances.
He's just a wonderful comic relief, and I hope he goes far, and I hope he can get a couple of primary states under his belt.
We really upset this thing. The reverse of Colbert. I want to play you this clip. It's Senator Arlen Specter and a story that he says his colleague's father used to tell. Play this thing.
Dan's mother and I have sex almost every night. We almost have sex on Monday. We almost have sex on Tuesday.
It was as odd as it is to see a Republican senator, even a fairly liberal one from Pennsylvania, standing there at the Improv.
Yes.
Is there something positive about this? Because, you know, if Nelson Rockefeller had made that joke 40 years ago, not only would he have been out of the presidential race, he would have had to resign as governor of New York. Just anything that touchy. Is it better that we're letting these guys get up and have fun?
I liked Rockefeller because he gave the finger to the Republican convention, the conservatives in 1964, and then he died in the saddle, which I thought was a nice thing for the Republic. Of course, he had his screw you money off and put away a long time before.
Yeah.
I think that's a great joke that Spector told. I was waiting for Phil Spector. I wasn't sure. Either Spector might have been okay for me.
Yeah, well, Phil is no longer involved in the government. Well, not directly, anyway.
No.
Now he's being pursued by the government.
Right.
I mentioned Bob and Ray. Those were my heroes when I was a kid. At the height of Watergate, I got to interview them, and I said, why don't you do, because they'd gone after McCarthy in a limited way, but a very effective way. So why didn't you do more political humor? And Ray Goulding said, how could we make that funnier?
Yeah.
Do you feel that way about President Bush?
Well, I use the sledgehammer. I don't bother with the rapier on Bush. And I don't really do a lot of political humor, but I have some glancing blows in the current show that I'm developing. And one of them is the reference to him as Governor Bush and the fact that I will always think of him, no matter where they hang his portrait, no matter where they put his statue. That's what he is. He's Governor Bush, because that's the last elected office he held legally.
That's the last office he held legally. It's one of the reasons why I love George Carlin, is I think he knew a lot more than what he let on to. Like when we start talking about the Washington, D.C. Act of 1878, and you have a corporation, it's not a government.
In this country, so I like moving in and really hurting them.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Let's be cute and let's be clever. I like smashing them. That's the only way to take care of them.
The other day, and speaking of smashing things, I quoted in this newscast, first item in the newscast, the 7 words you can't say on television, the story of them, and the fact that everybody forgets that the first part of that story is the guy who had his phone tapped and would answer the phone believed Hoover.
Yeah.
We're back there. How did we get back to the same position that we were when you made that joke originally in the 70s?
You're talking about wiretapping and spying on people. Yeah. Well, I don't know that we ever really left. I don't think that Frank Church committee really did any good. I don't think all of these reforms. I think power does what it wants. Power does what it wants, and now they're just more naked about it. Now they just put it right out front and say, "This is what we're doing to you folks." It's this country's finished. It's been sliding downhill a long time. And everybody's got a cell phone that makes pancakes, so they don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to make any trouble. People have been bought off by gizmos and toys in this country, and no one questions things anymore. Seriously, that's what I love about your show. I mean, you bring the thing right to them, and that's the only way to do it.
If you got the platform and you're not doing something with it, you might as well have a trained monkey out here. The one and only George Carlin. The retrospective is called George Carlin, All My Stuff, on DVD. Go buy it.
It does what it wants, and now they're just more naked.
There's a point right here.
I think power does what it wants.
Power does what it wants,
and now they're just more naked about it.
And now they're just more naked about it. And that kind of explains today right now. Power just does what it wants. It's not an apathetic thing. It doesn't hate you. It doesn't hate your skin or your race or your. It's just power. It will do whatever it wants. And right now, the power is not in your politics. The power is not in your politicians. And until you actually start to fight the power, the next generation will be enslaved to it. It just does what it wants. It's just getting more naked and more naked. And that's why I think we're in the apocalypse. All this is getting revealed is because they've gone so far, they don't actually have to hide it anymore. They don't care. But personally, I think they've underestimated the human race. I think they've underestimated a lot of things. I think that their downfall is their arrogance. I think they underestimate the power of the internet. I think they're censoring as fast as they can and they're trying to catch up. I don't think they'll actually catch up. I don't think human beings like being slaves. I don't think we're going to continue to go for it. So I think these are great times that we live in, but we got some darkness to go through, because usually when these lessons come, they have to be hard. They have to hurt or we fall back down. How old was George Carlin when he died? I don't know. Was he like in his early 50s, I thought, something like that? Carlin would be allowed to speak today if he were alive. Surprised he was allowed to live as long as he did. Well, he was powerful. The only way you get popular, unfortunately, is that you have to collude and you have to lie. And it's just like all the Hollywood and entertainment and all the heroes in politics. What blows me away, Pat, is people still have their heroes in what's obviously a governing corporation beholden to a cult. That was about the time the hanging of Chad's scam happened. Okay. Lucy is high this morning. All right, Lucy. It's too early to be high. It should, well, I get people say, ain't never too early to be high, is what people will say. Thank you, Barbara Peters, for that. Yes, stopbitburning.com. Like, that's what this is. We're literally erasing history. and it needs to stop. You know, these are just witch hunts, and if Carlin were alive today, yeah, he'd be one of the witches that would be hunted and would not be allowed to speak his truth. You know, and which brings me back to the good thing. We live in a time where everybody's got the same thing in common. You're a commodity, you're a slave. Even the billionaires are slaves to the system. Even the doctors are slaves. The doctors should be allowed to speak freely, so should the nurses. So should the scientists and the engineers who made free energy. So should the Bob Lazars and the people in the black projects that work with UFOs that they say they found under ancient structures and crash landed. So should the people in Space Force who say they're flying around most of the UFOs you see in the sky. They should be allowed to say what's true. Until we live in that world, I'm fine with the world burning. I'm fine. It can go wherever the hell it needs to go. All right, I'm guessing good hackers could get them deleted videos back. They'd be cool. Well, bonkers, nothing is ever deleted. Something I learned as an IT manager, nothing ever is deleted. They just change the access level to it. Like they hide it from us, but they don't actually delete anything. They store and keep everything. So absolutely, that's good. But a time in the future, I think that when we rediscover ourselves, when we rediscover what it means to be human, when it means to have ethics and morals and actually stand on the principles we lie about and say we believe in, I think all of that will probably come back if we don't wait too long. Most things are kept indefinitely, but eventually they'll get deleted. 2008 had heart failure. Yeah, and I don't believe that was true. I mean, I think he had heart failure, but I think he was helped with that. He was truly outspoken, and towards the end, he started to lose it. He started to go crazy towards the end, because I think that when you really realize how little control you actually have and how little people care, he lost it. I think he lost it. Like it's you have to laugh your way through it, and I think he made his life making other people laugh. You know, and no one really listened. And at a certain point in time, it'll get to you. Was he 71? Wow. Goodness gracious, did he look good for 71? Come on, brother. Was he a vegan? A vegetarian? He didn't eat too much okra, did he? He must not eat no okra. We need all information to make decisions, not go along with the crowd. Diane, spot on. Every decision made on part information is a bad decision. It's an ignorant one, right? Every decision made today is an ignorant one, because everything from history and everything from modern time, and including modern technology, is given to us, is being spoon-fed to us. Most people are out there voting are in conflict with one another because they don't really know the level of technology that's at disposal to the human race, because it's being hidden from us. And anybody who would vote for this world is just really, really ignorant. I don't know why. People are scared. I guess that's what it is. People are cowards, maybe. It's easier to be a coward. It's easier to hide under the covers instead of stand up and fight the monsters. Yeah. I like that example. I like that analogy. It's like the next generation is, they're shaking under their covers. You're screaming that the monsters are coming. You run in your child's room. There's a monster in the closet, Daddy. Hiding under the covers. There's a monster under my bed. And instead of dad being dad and mom being mom, open the closet, fling it open. Ain't no monsters in here. Fight the monster, face the monster. Instead of them going under the bed, moving all those books aside, ain't no monsters under here. I got this. Mama and daddy jump right under the covers. They go in the kids' room like, oh my God, this monster's in the closet. Bankers are in the closet. Oh my God. They jump under the covers and they hide with the baby. Like, that's not your job as the parent. You're not supposed to be a coward. You're supposed to take on the monster. They're hiding under the bed with the kids. Like, this is gonna be okay if we don't slay monsters for the next generation. No, we got banks to slay people. We have a global cult that needs slaying. We have no idea what's true. No idea about anything. And that's why I call it the cuckoo virus, because its primary purpose is to make us cuckoo. We don't know. Somebody could be out there be releasing something. Somebody could be organic, could be, we have no damn idea. It could be everywhere, could be nowhere. All we know is what's on television, short of what we talk to each other about. That's why the cuckoo virus is designed to make us cuckoo and make people go crazy. And then they just, I don't know what to do. I just vote for more power for the billionaires. Go do that again. All right. He had a bad heart problem from 1978 on, probably cocaine, my guess. Lori, whoever touched it last, I usually blame. And if you've got acronym agencies that killed Bob Marley and they've said they've got compounds and chemicals and things that, you know, can give you heart attacks, can give you cancer, can give you illnesses, that as long as they got it and they got secrets and they demand total secrecy, I blame them. You know, I think you're guilty until proven innocent if you're hiding something. And right now, all those organizations are hiding something. You know, all of them, everybody who's ever died. I blame the big pharma industry, the big chemical industry, the billionaires, the acronym agencies. I blame all of them because they all got things to hide. Once they reveal everything and they show us they don't have nothing to hide, okay, look, all right, you didn't kill Bob Marley. Okay, I see that. You didn't kill George Carlin. Okay. He didn't like you. You know, there's a lot of motive there. He was trying to free the American people, get them outside of the United States Incorporated and get them neatly back into a republic. You know, he talked about freeing people, so there's a whole lot of motive. You killed a lot of people, destroyed a lot of countries that said things like that. So, you know, we need an open source world. Can't believe he passed that long ago. I thought actually it was longer ago, Barbara. I thought it was longer. I don't even remember him dying. You still don't like okra? No, Lucy. I never say I don't like okra. I never said that. I don't think I ever said that, did I? I don't think I ever said I don't like okra. Okra just loves to cleanse me. I don't like okra. I just don't like being cleansed. Maybe it's that. Maybe I don't dislike okra. I like for my guts to stay inside instead of just to come out as fast as possible from my mouth and booty hole. Maybe that's it. It's not even. Okra's just too. It's slimy, and it has a compound in it that cleanses me, and I don't want to cleanse all the time. Sometimes I got to go to work. I ain't got time for cleansing. Never said I don't like okra. I just don't like sitting on a toilet. All right, there you go. Let me see. Last couple comments. Sheep will follow as long as you throw them some food. Yes, they will. They absolutely will. And the food is delicious, Walt, which is why they keep throwing it. Neo will not wake up because that steak is way too delicious. Neo, wake up. Wake up, Neo. Wake up. Richard Pryor, William George Carlin, all contemporaries. Yes, they all were. Oh, Gerard, he died in the hospital. So, yeah. Oh, Lord telling secrets. You know, the people I know the people I know who work in hospitals, a lot of them tell you, don't you ever go to that hospital. You get in a car accident, you about to die, there's something different. But if you got a tummy ache or something, you need to go find a naturopathic doctor, you need to go read something on the internet, or eat some okra and clean your stomach out. But they say like that's the #1 place people catch infections from, right in the hospital. But it's not the doctor's fault. It's not the hospital worker's fault, not the nurse's fault. It's Rockefeller medicine. They control all of that. Cronyism runs the whole world. Anyone who has $1 billion is a criminal. That's a fact. That's a fact. They're all dirty somewhere. All dirty somewhere. Cronyism created this world. There's no free market anything. It is all dirty and friendships. So yeah, until the doctors and nurses are free, the people in the hospital, then they can't say, yeah, we need fresh organic food. Like every hospital I went in, Lord, all the food was death. All the food was death. Every hospital I go, I look at people dying and I see what they're eating. It's like, okay, you're dying and you're eating food that's designed for death. You're getting procedures that are designed for profit, not to heal you. You're getting drugs that are designed for maximum profit, not for maximum healing. To that degree, the problem might not even be the pharmaceutical industry. It needs to collapse. But the model requires that they can't make any money, they can't patent anything unless it's not nature, which means they got to make a lot of synthetic alien compounds that have never existed before, never been in the human body. Thus, all the side effects, because they're not side effects, they're literally the effects, because your body's saying, this crap ain't supposed to be in me. This is an alien. And then it modifies your DNA through epigenetics. Your body goes through all these changes, creating all these illnesses, and who knows God what else. because we put an alien compound in a human being. And then you, the model, pretty much wants Big Pharma to destroy the plants. If they find a plant that makes a compound that gets rid of the blue bumps and they want to sell the compound, and you can't let nobody know that the plant exists, otherwise it's for free. The model almost requires that they destroy nature. They destroy that plant that creates the blue bumps. And you create a model of massive organizations and industries that only make profit if people are sick. You're not going to get less sick people if the profit model is for sick people. So yeah, the problem in the hospital, the problem is the model. We need to let professionals go back to being professionals. Hedonistic tools of all sorts getting off on something. Kentucky Fried Mama, or in Carte. Yes, I think they successfully destabilized the family. They destroyed the family, Kentucky Fried Mama. They destroyed the family. They destroyed the state family. They destroyed the national families. And now they destroyed the human family. People are all related, no matter how far back, no matter where you're from. If you go back far enough, you're related to the person that you're talking to. We're all cousins. We're all related. We need to act like it. Good one, G. Hidden with Biden. Hidden with Biden. What's hidden? What'd I say? That's something important. He was born during the Depression. Was he? Well, he makes me depressed. He does. I can't watch him. I haven't watched any of the politicians talk about anything. We need to get that man some help. I don't know why they're doing that to that man. They need to get him some help. All right, okra keeps mosquitoes away. I believe that, Lucy, because okra mosquitoes don't like vomit neither. They need to go sting people. They need to go ruin people's day and transfer animal tissue into humans and stuff. They need to steal some blood. They ain't got time for no okra to have diarrhea. I don't even think mosquitoes got toilets. That's a really little tiny toilet. Convenient gaslight. Yes. We need to take a day off or two for cleansing. No, Diane, we do not. We do not need to take a day or two off for no damn cleansing. We need to be free. Need to be free of big corporations, job, forced labor systems, all that slavery stuff. That all needs to go away. And to a degree, cleansing is slavery, because you sit right on that toilet and you can't go nowhere. It's compulsion. No, you don't need to do that. You need to be free 7 days a week. In and out, that's it. Not that constant stuff. Make some gumbo with your okra. No, Diane, that's not going to happen. The world is run by organized psychopathy. Yes, it is, Walt, and it's 100% supported by the human race. Until we stop supporting it, we better psycho in the path. You better raise kids to psycho in that path really good, because that's who's designing the world, and that's who's designing the new normal with massive digital powers. All right, hospital food makes you lose the will to live. It does, Pat. It makes me depressed. Every time I go in there, see dying people eating Jello, sugar, drinking milk, and I just get depressed. I'm like, damn, y'all don't even care, do you? Y'all don't even care. You just gonna take whatever slop. My father was on his deathbed, Pat. They gave him some damn pork. They gave him pork barbecue on his deathbed. It's like, yep, you gonna die. But you know what? You'll be happy. By that time, he didn't give up. He realized that, yeah, I ain't gonna fight this. Whatever they gave me, I ain't fighting. So he got his pork barbecue. It's insane that you actually have a hospital that knows what pork is. That's a problem. It's a problem if you're a place of healing and you even know what sugar and pork is. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. But the cool thing is, if you know somebody who's getting sick now, feeding tubes. Gosh, I forgot the name of the company. If you know somebody who's sick, who's on a feeding tube and they're feeding them food, there's a company that makes organic mush, right, from fruits and vegetables and whatever, so that they're feeding them not the chemicals and crap in the in the tubing, but actually organic food. You'll never get it in the hospital. You have to buy it separately. But they sell the stuff by the crate. Lori might know what it is, but there are companies that actually sell organic food that you can feed people through feeding tubes. If your parent or your family member, whatever, is trapped in one of those places, you give them some organic food. Their body does not need to be fighting glyphosate while it's fighting cancer. Complete insanity. I'm about to go, but I actually wanted to look at Venezuela. They say the Navy ships are all out there, and I want to take a look at that. And that's another good common sense thing for whoever asked about the whole mask thing. It's like, if your government was actually really scared of a global pandemic, would they be like getting ready to invade Venezuela while you're hiding in your house? If they thought the world was coming to an end and they were really scared, would they be sending the U.S. Navy to surround Venezuela to rob it for the oil that only works in Koch brothers refineries? I know people like, Operation Libertad, Libertad, Libertad. Like, come on, man, come on. They got Obama people with it. Don't be this stupid, Trump people. Don't be this lost and clueless. It has nothing to do with no Libertad. They're not liberating nobody. Ain't nobody in there. They're literally going to feed human trafficking and send more people to your borders when they destroy Venezuela. You know, just every day more and more stuff gets released where it's just like, yeah, it's obvious that y'all were never scared. It's obvious that this was for the population. This was like something to get us to look left while you smack somebody else on the right. My mom would not let me eat it after having the babies. Good mama Jeannie, Miss Hesse, good job. Do not let that, good mamas don't let babies grow up to be cowboys and serve people okra. That's exactly, good mama right there. Did you turn her in? What happened? What are y'all talking about, Barbara? It's incredible what they feed patients. It is incredible. It's depressing. It's horrible. I didn't know her. Just heard about it in the grapevine. So y'all are talking about somebody I got to get going, but Mark's in the house, but I'm about to go. Why was an aide touching an IV? Y'all something horrible. Good morning, Matthew. I'm just about to go though. I saw lots of other bad things through the years. Finally, at my bedside has always been the best protection for any patient. Yeah, and Lori, I appreciate what you do, and it's our job to be behind people like you. It's our job to be behind doctors who are telling the truth, nurses who are telling the truth, any medical professionals, IT that's telling the truth, engineers, whistleblowers, the Julian Assanges. It's literally our job to support anybody who wants to support the human race more than their income. Anybody who's willing to turn on those things. So this is all we can do for the moment, right? Honor people who honor you. Honor people who are speaking up for the voiceless. People who are willing to turn on their industry. Like the stories I hear from nurses are definite. I'm not. There's stories I heard from nurses that I won't say any more about that I'll never say. There's stories I've heard from military that I will never say. And certainly things from engineers that I'm not even allowed to say. But we can have an amazing world. We just have to choose to build it. We just have to no longer have any more secrets, no more NDAs, no more secret projects, no more dark budgets, no more dark hospitals. You need to know everything that's happening in the hospital. A lot of horrible things happen in hospice, but we won't go through all of that. All right, anyway, I had it going. That was kind of dark. Lots of laughter. I would be proud of my boys. We're cowboys. Those ranchers are on the off-grid path. Yes, Jeannie, but listen to your mama. You know, be proud of your boys to be cowboys, but teach them not to serve anybody no okra. Fried, dyed, laid to the side with eggs, ham, cheese. No, they can be cowboys all they want to be, but don't raise and feed nobody no okra. People need their hydration. Can't be blowing that out your butt cheeks. I don't know what did it to me. I don't know. People, why you hate okra so much? I don't know. Somebody put it in me a long time ago or something. I don't know. Maybe I was abused by some okra or something. Maybe I need to sit on a psychologist's bed. Bring back some suppressed memories or something. All right. You have to know the enemy. Most people are clueless. You have to, Walt. If you don't know the enemy, if you don't know where the head of snake is, it's your job to be quiet. Just be quiet. Find the head of the snake. Don't jump in the bush, start fighting snakes where you don't know. Don't jump on the street, start fighting white people or police or whatever, or immigrants or Venezuelans or Hondurans, or, you know, don't, if you don't know the problem, you're supposed to find the problem. If you don't know the root problem, then your solutions will all fail because you don't even know the problem. If you have not isolated cuckoo virus, you're not going to cure cuckoo virus. You can't even test for it. You know, these are things that are science, not science, right? People sometimes just want to react. Well, they just want to do something. It makes them feel good to do something. It makes them feel good to say something. Research is the first step. Educate yourself is the first step, or everything you do is going to be ignorant. Every action you take, every word from your mouth. Until we have an open source society, every decision we make is a fact. Words I really never liked, aloud and please. That last word, you don't understand him, and he don't die young. He'll probably just ride away. That city moose, country moose thing, what a trick. F the city. Yeah, well, it's time for people to leave the city, Gina. Bad things are coming. Dark times are coming. They're going to turn into beautiful things, but it's time to go. Yep, everybody have a happy weekend. Good one. He was born during the Depression. They're so frightened us that they are signing orders to FEMA, we the people, #baby men. Yeah, well, and that's a good sign, right, Ms. Tree? The fact that they are so scared of the people. It's a good sign that they're writing so many laws. It's a good sign that they feel they need a digital open air prison. It's a good sign that they need social credit scores, they need drones, they need 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 Gs. It's a good thing that they feel that they need all these things. Because it's what you said. It means that the power is actually with the people. If they weren't doing any of that, we'd be in big trouble. But the fact that they are going to the endless lengths to censor and anything to control people, it tells you that you're a powerful creature. It tells you that we still have the power. Otherwise, they wouldn't bother. That's a lot to spend for no return on investment. So if they're investing in silencing people, burning bits, burning books, deleting videos, killing people, enslaving them to prison, buying out the governments, making it so obvious that none of the governments actually govern their people because they're governing corporations, they're more slaves than anything else. That means that we actually can change everything. They wouldn't go do everything to us if we couldn't change everything. So anyway, it's Friday. You guys have a happy weekend. Australia standing up tomorrow. That's good, Lori. I will tune into that. I'll definitely share it, tag me. We got to stand by people who stand up. Never, ever, ever stand by those with the most jewels. People who did all this are the people with the most jewels. Don't ever stand by them. Stand by the people
lending credit. And when they lend lots of credit, then there's the opportunity for lots of economic activities of exchange, and economic activity cannot take place, and so we go into a recession. And this cult, via the banking system and via this system, is constantly dictating when it goes up and when it goes down. Because what their masters are making it go up and down, so they know when it's going up and down, and that an idiot could make vast amounts of money if you know when the economy and the stock market's going up in the hands of private banks. That would change everything on the level that we are talking about. But no one ever talks about it politically. Why? Because Britain is a one-party state. We have a one-party state, Labour Party, a one-party state.